The galactic combat arena hummed with electromagnetic energy as thousands of spectators from across the known universe filled the crystalline observation decks. Elizabeth stood in the center of the dueling platform, her thoracian exoskeleton gleaming like polished obsidian under the arena lights. At 7 feet tall, with 4 arms and natural chitinous plating beneath her armor, she was the reigning champion of 17 consecutive tournaments. Across from her stood Asher, a human from Earth, a planet most species considered barely worthy of associate membership in the Galactic Federation. He wore simple combat fatigues, no powered armor, no energy shields. In his hands, he carried what appeared to be an archaic projectile weapon, roughly constructed from metal alloys that hadn't been used in warfare for millennia. Across most of the galaxy, Elizabeth's mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among her species. "That is your weapon, human." Her voice echoed through the translation matrix embedded in the arena. "I have faced plasma cannons, molecular disruptors, and gravitic hammers. You bring me what? A metal tube that throws tiny pieces of lead." The crowd erupted in chittering, buzzing, and various forms of alien amusement. Humans were known for their stubborn refusal to adopt proper technology, clinging to their primitive combustion engines, ballistic weapons, and chemical propellants long after joining the galactic community. Asher checked his rifle with practiced ease, his face betraying no emotion. "It's called a gun," he said simply. "Specifically, a precision rifle, and yes, it throws pieces of metal very, very fast." "How quaint," Elizabeth replied, her forearms spreading wide in a gesture of mock appreciation. "I shall try not to crush you too quickly." The audience paid good credits to watch a human attempt combat. "I would hate to disappoint them." The adjudicator, a floating spherical AI from the Nexus Collective, announced the rules. Standard dueling protocols: victory by surrender, incapacitation, or death. Lethal force is authorized. Combatants, prepare. Elizabeth activated her armor's full defensive suite. Energy shields shimmered into existence around her. Layered 3. Her weapon systems came online, plasma projectors on 2 arms, kinetic accelerators on the others. She had fought beings far more dangerous than this soft, pink creature before her. The signal blared. Elizabeth moved with predatory grace, her species' natural agility enhanced by military-grade servos. She opened fire immediately, plasma bolts screaming across the arena floor. Asher dove behind one of the sparse cover obstacles, a reinforced pillar designed to survive most weapons fire. "Running already, human," Elizabeth called out, circling his position. "I expected more from a species that claims to be warriors." Plasma fire melted the edges of Asher's cover. He shifted position, moving with economy of motion, never exposing more of himself than necessary. Elizabeth noted this with mild interest. At least the human understood basic tactical movement. She pressed her advantage, firing from multiple angles with her various weapon systems. The human kept moving, kept adapting, but he wasn't returning fire. Was his weapon malfunctioning? Had he frozen in fear? "Your weapon is useless," Elizabeth declared. "Surrender now, and I will make it quick." Then Asher spoke, his voice calm and measured. "You know what's interesting about energy shields? They're designed to stop energy weapons and high-velocity plasma. They diffuse the impact, spread it out." He shifted position again, and for the first time, Elizabeth saw him properly aim his primitive rifle. "But they're not so great against slower-moving solid projectiles. The shields don't register them as threats until it's too late." Elizabeth laughed again. "Fool, my armor itself could stop your—" The crack of the gunshot was almost anticlimactic compared to the whine of energy weapons. But the result was anything but. The bullet, a carefully crafted projectile of hardened steel, with a tungsten core passed through Elizabeth's outer energy shield like it wasn't there. The shield flickered, confused by the relatively slow-moving object. The second layer reacted similarly. By the time the third layer attempted to stop it, the bullet's momentum was barely affected. It struck Elizabeth's left primary shoulder joint at precisely the angle Asher had calculated, where 3 armor plates met in a necessary seam to allow movement. The armor cracked. The bullet continued through, severing the synthetic muscle cables that powered her upper arm's hydraulics. Elizabeth staggered, her left arm going limp. Shock registered across her features. "Impossible." "Joints," Asher said, already chambering another round with smooth efficiency. "Armor has to have them. Your shields are impressive, but they're optimized for the wrong threats." Elizabeth roared and charged, firing wildly with her remaining weapons. Asher moved again, his movements precise and unhurried. Another shot, another crack. Her right leg's knee joints shattered in a spray of metal fragments and hydraulic fluid. She collapsed to one knee, her massive form suddenly vulnerable. Her shields were still active, still protecting against energy weapons, but completely ineffective against what the human was doing. "How?" she gasped. "How did you know?" Asher lowered his rifle slightly, though he kept it trained on her. "Because humans have been fighting each other with increasingly sophisticated armor for thousands of years. We learned that no matter how good your protection is, joints are always a weakness. We learned to look for the seams." The adjudicator's voice filled the arena. "Combatant Elizabeth is unable to continue effective combat. Victory to Combatant Asher of Earth." The arena fell silent. Then, slowly, the crowd began to react, some with shock, others with what might have been respect. Elizabeth deactivated her remaining weapons, her pride more damaged than her body. "I underestimated you. Most species do," Asher replied, offering his hand to help her up despite their size difference. "We humans, we might not have the most advanced technology, but we've spent 10,000 years figuring out how to kill things that are bigger, stronger, and better protected than we are. We've gotten pretty good at it." As medical drones descended to assist Elizabeth, she looked at the human with new understanding. "Your species, you do not fight with superior technology. You fight with superior knowledge of how to break things." Asher smiled grimly. "Welcome to humanity's specialty. We've been the underdogs for our entire history. We learned to make it work.